Hey everyone, I'm Ryan. You're watching 60 Cycle Hum, and in this episode of the Affordaboard saga, I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to shoot out all these green Overdrive pedals, and I'm even going to compare them to the real deal green Overdrive pedal, this Ibanez TS9, that has admittedly been modified by Keeley / Mammoth back when they were doing that. And I've got one more, so there will be 8 green Overdrives in total in this video. This is a Whim effects pedal, the model Tube Squealer. When I ordered this on the internet a week or so ago, it looked like there was only a couple left. So they might be completely gone now. I have no idea if this brand is going to make more or if this is a discontinued sort of situation. But I thought this was a pretty compelling design at a compelling price. Ooh, it's very bright neon green. But it's very much the same case design that Ibanez themselves use for their mini tube screamer. I did some photo comparisons when I was going to buy it, and I don't think it's the exact same case. I think they're just aping it because there's a little bit of like a metal tab here, a little bit of small differences here and there. I'm sure if I could hold them side by side, I'd be able to point out more. But they're clearly going for that thing, and I think that was interesting enough for me to want to pull the trigger on it. So anyways, let's get started. I'll start by checking out the new one here, and then we'll start doing comparisons against the real deal, even though it's modified. I know it's modified, but it still sounds like a tube screamer, and that's the idea. In Affordaboard tradition, I'm going to use an affordable guitar, this time the Squier Cyclone in a very familiar shade of fleshy pink. So anyways, here is that clean bypass signal. I am on the number 4 position, the neck and the middle combined for a little bit of humbucking action. Here is the Tube Squealer by Whim. It seems to be doing the thing. I should try to open this up at the end of the video and see if we can do a little detective work to figure out who made it, where it came from. Maybe I can even find some gut shots of the Ibanez mini tube screamer to compare it to. We'll see. Let's check out the range of the controls. This is the drive knob. We'll turn it all the way up. I actually don't mind that. It feels more chunky and crumbly on the edges versus what I don't like in tube screamers is when they're kind of like fizzy and champagne-y. Does that make sense? Oh, it goes all the way clean. It colors it a little bit. That goes very transparent though. What if this turns out being the best one and it's functionally discontinued? The The adjustment across the gain knob seems to be smooth. It doesn't seem to jump or do anything squirrely. All right, tone control now. All the way dark. All the way bright. Does anyone use a tube screamer all the way bright like that? Seems pretty extreme, honestly. Extreme tube screamer sound. All right, let's do the comparison now against the real deal here. Well, a modified TS9 anyways. This is the Mod Plus modification, the Plus modification. Oh, I'm stacking them. That sounded a little different. Let's take everything to noon, do a noontime comparison between the two. Tube squealer meet tube screamer. The Ibanez sounds a little darker, a little muddier. Let's try bringing that tone up a tad. Yeah, that's interesting. Even with the tone up on here, there's a clarity to the whim and more of a muddy, mid-humped sort of classic sound from the Ibanez. Honestly, if the whim is missing that thickness, it might be a deal breaker for some people, but for people looking for a clearer sounding tube screamer, maybe it's a feature. I don't know. You tell me, flaw or feature? For my personal taste, I think I might prefer the whim, honestly. Let's check out a comparison between maximum, overdrive from each one. I don't know. I think the modified Ibanez is technically better sounding. Subjectively, I'm not too sure. You might prefer the sound of that one. Let's start with the K-Mice. One of the first pedals, or at least one of the first brands that I covered here in the Affordaboard series. Still very popular with a lot of people, the K-Mice. Take everything back to noon. are closer, I think. Still, more transparent sounding, which could be a positive or a negative, but you've got more of this like mid-focused kind of warm push from the Ibanez. One of the newer ones, the Dolomo. I covered this last week, I think. I vaguely remember this one didn't have a lot of volume on tap. More of like a nasal voice from the Dolomo. Yeah, again, none of them are, you know, matching the EQ of the TS9. They all have this clearer sort of thing going on. They all have this fuzzy kind of grit, but they vary a little bit from pedal to pedal. I figured out that these Dolomos are K-line boards. I opened up a couple of them and took screenshots and put them up on the Facebook group. And we were taking a look at that. The Moogig. Green Tube by Moogig. This one has a mod switch on it. So maybe that will more closely resemble the TS9. Might. It's actually darker. It makes the TS9 sound clear and bright. Let's try the normal setting. There we go. That actually sounds kind of close. There's something about the EQ of the TS9. This might all get lost in post with YouTube's audio algorithm and stuff like that. But there's just a general like higher quality sound out of this. I'm not totally sure how to describe it. At times it's muddier than the other pedals, but it's also warmer and smoother feeling. I don't know. This one gets close in the EQ range, but it still has a bit of this nasal sort of thing going on. It's all very slight differences. It really is. That boost circuit on there is interesting. A little bit too much low end for my taste. We've got 3 left. Let's do the K-line. I wonder if this will be similar to the Dolomo. It's got a 3-way switch on here. We'll start on normal. Try fat. And super. This might be a contender. That sounds close. There's a little bit higher gain. I think that's it. I think that fat mod on the K-Line Overdrive here, I think that is pretty close to a dead ringer for this Mod Plus modified tube screamer here. The EQ feel, like the in-room feel, is slightly different, but the voicing is incredibly close. There's just a little bit of that like low mid traveling through this signal. It really is a room feel. I think that once you're listening to it on a phone, even computer monitors, I think that's going to disappear in post there. But that is interesting. We'll put that in a separate pile for being really close to the Ibanez. There's 2 left. The Azor and the Amazon Basics. The Bezos Special over here, which we now know is a NUX pedal. A NUX circuit anyways. This also has a mod switch. Hot and warm. No cold? We'll start with warm. Ooh. Plenty of output on that. I don't think it's going to sound like the TS9, but I kind of like that sound. It's more kind of chimey, hollow a little bit. Yeah, way brighter. Let's try the hot setting. I'll try bringing the tone back quite a bit. That. Honestly, that might be my favorite for my personal taste so far. It has a nice low end to it. Not as much mid focus, I'll say that, but I like the low, I like the crispy highs. Yeah, that might be my personal favorite so far. It doesn't sound like a compromise. It still sounds like high quality, if that's definable. But I like the brightness of it versus the more muddy, kind of dark character of some of the others. All right, Bezos, what have you given us? Let's see if this is any good compared to the TS9. Maybe this is the one that had the volume issue. Yeah, it is. The Dolomo was fine. That had, you know, it had a boost to it, but not a huge boost. The Amazon Basics Drive was the one I was trying to remember that has volume issues. I wonder if that creaminess, that kind of more mid-humped sort of quality, the slightly muddier quality, for lack of a better term, from the TS9 has to do with the mod that's in it, because the vast majority seem to be a clearer sounding version of a Tube Screamer, a little bit twangier, a little bit brighter and crispier. I don't know. I think the vast majority of them sound fine, but if you're a cork sniffer with Tube Screamers, I'm sure this is all going to be useful to you. Still, though, the K-line on that fat setting, I think really pretty closely duplicates that TS9 Mod Plus sort of sound. The basics, I give it a poor score just because of the volume issue. You want to have a lot of volume on tap with the Tube Screamer because you are going to want to push an amp with it someday. Even if you like the sound of a Tube Screamer into a clean amp, you want to have that option. You want to be able to boost, and the fact that that is unity. Yeah, no bueno. You need more volume on tap. I didn't compare, a lot of settings across these, so I'm sure someone's going to have some sort of problem. I think noon across the board is probably good enough. Let's start stacking them. That's fun, right? Yeah, I'll get them all hooked up first. My prediction is when they're all on, they're just going to cancel each other out, and there won't be any signal coming through. Do Tube Screamers have buffers in them? Like I said earlier, I'm not a big Tube Screamer user, so I actually don't know that fact. Seriously, do they have buffers in them? All right. Let's take everything. We're going to start with low gain. Turn the gain down on all of them just to see what happens. All right, Moogig first. So many power cables. And talk about nasal, jeez. Let's see if we can cut through the mix a bit with the number 2 position, bridge and middle. Let's try it single coil. This is gonna buzz. The problem is all the EQ filtering that's going on. There's just nothing left but mid frequencies. All right, let's start upping the gain. Turning up the tone, I did something. What were 2 I really liked? I really liked the Azor. And I liked the K-line. Man, that Azor gets nasty and hairy with the gain all the way up. That's on the hot setting. I probably need a tune after all that wiggle stick abuse. I like that Azor because it doesn't sound like a tube screamer. It's crispier, it's clearer, it's gutsier with its overdrive sound. I like that. The K-line, I think, is the clear winner for comparing to the real deal, at least the modified real deal over here, with that fat setting. I guess the normal sounds more like the other. I should do that. I should go from beginning to end. They all have their gain up, and we'll do, another comparison across a few different gain settings here. Plenty of volume from the Moogig. They're also close. I can't tell if this is the same circuit as that. Maybe I'll pop both of those open too. The Amazon wouldn't sound bad if it had more volume on tap. It really doesn't sound bad at all. None of these really sound bad. It's personal preference, What do you need? Do you need a brighter one? Do you need a muddier one? You need a bass heavy one? I will say the TS9 with that Keeley mod sounds smoother. If that's important to you, then, get one of these. Get it modified. I don't know. There's probably one out there that gets pretty close to that. I think the fat on here gets really close. I think that's a good buy. I think the K-line right here is a good buy. I like the Azor. The rest, you tell me. Which one do you think stood out? Let's do some gut checks now. People requested this of me after the Dolomo ones. And it's such a good idea, I can't believe I haven't done it before. Like the paint was stuck together. All right, are there any clues? It's dated Whim 2016. I don't know if those little screws are ever going back in. We'll see, right? So what do we have here? No immediate branding marks. Again, Whim and the date right here. It doesn't mean anything if there's not branding marks. It could still be made by a variety of OEMs. But there it is, the guts of the Whim. I'm going to have to find some gut shots of the Ibanez version to see how that compares. Yeah, the Ibanez one looks different. It is wild that this Whim company made their own version of the Ibanez case, though. All right, I'll put that back together later. It's fun to take them apart. It's not as fun to put them back together. I'll say that. All right, now K-line versus Dolomo. There's the open guts of the K-line. We'll go from the same start position on the Dolomo. Oh, look at this. Very similar look. Different board, obviously, but a very similar look. Same size board. Same position of the foot switch. This little guy right here, whatever that is. These are the same. This square here. This square here is the same. And then everything up here deviates. Well, there's these three for knobs. I mean, this has more going on because it has that mod switch on there. I'm gonna hate myself when I have to put all these back together. Ryan, what were you doing just to get gut shots of a couple pedals? All right, there's the K-line. K-line CP75 version 2.0. And these rocket sockets make life so much easier doing this stuff. Pretty sure Grant Wilson sent me those rocket sockets as a little gift. Man. I thought they were called rocket sockets because they're shaped like little rockets. Maybe it's because they make you work faster or let you work faster. All right, here we go. Wow, so similar. I mean, obvious differences. This one's got a knob off to the side and then the switch here. This one is marked CP49. This one's an older circuit, 2018. This one's marked 2019. But so many details here. I mean, yeah, they're both K-line pedals. I mean, it says it on the board that they're both K-line pedals, but yeah, the components are all pretty much the same here. It's just kind of shifted around a bit. It wasn't much of a mystery, but I'm glad I actually cracked it open to check it out. Anyways, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, dislike, leave me rude and nasty comments. Support us on Patreon. Subscribe to the Affordaboard playlist. That's something that you can do. You can follow a playlist. And buy a shirt if you're naked. And you know what? Stay grounded. Bye, everybody.